Okay, we're on. Call this meeting to order, determine there's a quorum. Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Flores, and myself, we do have a quorum. If y'all would please rise for the pledge of allegiance. And Commissioner Garcia, if you don't mind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank y'all. Citizens' comments, we had a couple of them. If y'all want to come up and address the court, so you're next. You're up.
I'll be short and sweet. My educational and professional background is in electrical engineering. I spent a number of years with a manufacturer of medium and high voltage insulated power cable. So I do have some knowledge about what this transmission line does in terms of EMF forces and stuff like that. Basically, I'm just a real simple guy. I just say it like I believe it. I don't think we need to do any environmental studies or anything like that on a line of this nature. The least costly, the most efficient, and the easiest way to put this line in is simply to follow the I-10 corridor. Thank you.
Okay. The reason, I guess, for the discussion and the reason for the meeting, I have an item put on, discussion possible action on a single circuit 765 kilovolt transmission line that will be going through Val Verde County, and we wanted input. I know that we were supposed to answer something, I think, by the 7th. Well, I'm sitting here looking at the letter. I think they'd send it to Commissioner Wardlaw, and I think it's by the 7th, so we needed to have a meeting before our regular county commissioners court meeting. That's the reason we called a special meeting. Commissioner Wardlaw had some concerns about this, and I put it under my name. That way, depending on the way the vote goes, doesn't go, or whatever, because Mr. Wardlaw and his family owns a ranch in precinct 2 that it might be going through, might not be going through, even though it's not going through his precinct, but I figured it would be better to put it under my name. Okay. Did that help, Ms. Hardman?
It helps, but I probably still have questions.
Okay.
As to why we're even considering it in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're not considering, I did read the item. It isn't that we're considering doing it or not doing it. I think what we'd be considering in this court would be opposing it, not the doing or not doing. I will tell y'all that some of the people that we visited with it at the state, and even some of the comments that were made to individuals that just came back from Austin, is it something really that the county wants to get in front of and block it? If it goes down I-10, like what you just said, and at the end of the day, we need power here or whatever, who's going to pay to get the power here? So the only thing that they're doing is try to stabilize, I guess ERCOT is trying to stabilize the grid. And they picked a route, and it just happens to be coming through Val Verde County. All right. It was thrown in Austin. It was some of the legislatures that they did get visited with about running it down I-10 like what you just suggested. Some of the comments from some of the legislatures were, do you really want to block that not coming through Val Verde County? And if you need power, is Val Verde County going to later on be wanting power from a grid that could have come through your county? Something to consider. Okay. I have 3 other citizens' comments, and what we'll do is we'll listen to y'all. Citizens' comments. We'll listen to y'all. Okay.
Judge, one thing that I don't think a lot of folks have noticed on the letter is it doesn't talk anything about power distribution. It is a transmission line. It's just moving power.
Yeah, it is.
From Fort Stockton to San Antonio.
Yeah, it is. But in the future, if it needed to be a transmission line, it could be. Okay, because the power line's already here, and no other line would need to be run. That's what I was told. Okay. We've got, Ms. Hargrove, do you want to speak now, or you want to wait a little bit and let us get into the discussion? It's up to you.
Briefly, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I kind of would like to know how come the base isn't involved in this discussion? Because wouldn't that be a tremendous detriment to them?
And they will have to, go ahead and get done with your comments.
Well, that's one of the things that I thought, and I'm like her, his family's not the only family with ranch land that these things are coming through. And we've already seen what AEP's done. I mean, I don't know if any of you have stood under one of these new towers that AEP's running all over the city and everywhere, but they're pretty tall, and these are taller than that. I mean, in my opinion, and I'm all about the health issues that this stuff is doing to us and our kids that nobody wants to talk about with this stuff coming through, the 5G towers and everything else. So I was kind of surprised that there was nobody here from Laughlin, maybe, because I would think that that would be huge in their flight area.
And I'm sure that they'll have to clear it with Laughlin before they go. They'll have to clear it with FAA before they begin to put them up.
I would think
It's something that they will have to take into account.
Yeah.
It isn't just like they can go put them up.
Right.
The environmental issues, which that's been brought up also, all that's going to have to be taken into consideration too. But it's something that the county, we don't have a department for. They'll have to take it up with the state or the federal government. The landowners are going to have to figure out how they're going to either allow them to go through their property or not allow them to go through their property. Again, the county can't get involved with that.
Right.
You know, I do have a little bit of a problem in saying, and hooking up the wagon to the environmental issue when we have pipelines that run all through our county and they dig all over the place. So if we're going to do the environmental deal, to me, you know, we're digging up more ground every time a pipeline comes through. In my opinion, again, you said our little, you know, our own opinion and our own little thoughts.
If it would ever rain, it makes good grading.
Yeah, well, it's clean again, right? But there is a lot of issues, and there's some stuff that again, the county's not gonna be able to get in front of, right? And I'm scared about hooking up the wagon to the environmental deal, and then open up another door, and then we have, well, we're trying to protect all these species, and then we have more people coming in and saying, oh, you've got all this stuff here, maybe we shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. Okay. But, yes, ma'am.
Do you know exactly where it's going to come in?
We have the
map indicates only the possible counties that are involved, so there's not an actual line yet.
Possible counties or actual counties?
possible.
So everything between I-10 and Highway 90 is on the table.
And again, you know, I called this meeting, Kurt thought it was important enough to have a meeting. And my deal is, though, that there's certain legal things that we're going to be able to say and do, and certain things we're not going to be able to. But if we're going to send them a letter, then we need to do it before, I think, the 7th. The 7th. Okay, and our next meeting is after that. It'd be too late.
Judge,
Mr.
Judge, if you don't mind, so correct, I want to make sure, if I'm right, Judge, that people can hear this. The proposed route is along I-10. Of course, from my understanding, reading this piece of paper here, they're also exploring other possible routes. So we're just a possible route, but more than likely, I believe it's leaning towards the I-10 corridor. Am I right, Judge, on that? From reading?
You're probably right. The whole problem is, though, that every time it's possible, so that's how come we're having this meeting, right? It doesn't matter if they say over there, it could still be here, right? So
I just wanted the people to know that hopefully one comes through Valverde County. I'm hoping it goes along the I-10 corridor, but that's the number one proposed route, which is the I-10 corridor. So hopefully they'll keep it.
But
on
again,
I-10.
we need to have this meeting because every time you know, tomorrow morning, how come y'all didn't tell us? And now all of a sudden it's going, they're showing up at your door wanting an easement and wanting to put it through y'all's back door. Okay.
Yeah. The map shows two options, so, I mean.
No, and he's right. It's just, again, you know, we didn't want to be caught that we knew about it, or he knew about it, or then the court knew about it, and there was nothing brought out to the public. All right? Mr. Hodge, did you need to say something or want to say something, sir?
I have only a couple of comments to make. First of all, if you don't mind, I'd rather speak from here.
We can hear you.
This is a a transmission line, not a distribution line.
That's the way it's
So
proposed to
there's
be, sir.
absolutely no benefit to Valverde County for this line to come through.
Today.
No one is going to be able to hook into that and get an electric supply that they don't have. I know absolutely nothing about electricity, but from what Dale tells me, these towers are going to be huge, and they're going to be an eyesore of probably the same magnitude as these wind turbines. And because of the fact that the bulk of Valverde County, certainly that part of it that's north of Del Rio, is all ranch land, and the value of it today is recreational. I don't think anything that you do to the country to affect its scenic beauty for recreational purposes is going to do anything but decrease the value of the land, and that does have an effect on the communities that the recreational people use when they're here. So my objection is that it's not a distribution line, it's a transmission line, and it has no benefit that I can see to Valverde County or the people that are in Valverde County, and it has a potential serious adverse consequence to the property that it passes through or by.
Thank you, sir. And you're absolutely right. Today, it would not be a distribution line at all. It is a transmission line is what's being proposed. Absolutely correct.
Judge, if I may, would it be possible that we make contact with this company and maybe for them to consider building a substation that would provide power to the city of Del Rio on their construction way to San Antonio?
We could visit with them, I guess.
That would bring a lot of benefit to Valverde County and the city of Del Rio.
The thing about today's meeting is to see if we're going to oppose the line. I guess the short and the skinny of it,
And
right?
Judge, when we're saying oppose, in reality, what we're doing at this moment is pointing out all of the potential hurdles that could be in the way of the power company if they choose to run through Valverde.
Okay, I stand corrected.
I don't believe that if we said we're in opposition to this,
It really matters.
mostly because this seems to be an ongoing project from back in 2020 when we had the large winter storms. So this is all part of the reliability push for the grid itself. So at this moment, all we really are being asked to do is say whether or not we think there's going to be issues if they try to run through the county.
And the issues would be mainly, I guess, first of all, would be with the owners of the land, right? So they've got to work through that, which we have nothing to do with that. And then the second issue would be is if we want to bring it up in a letter, environmental issues, which they know they're going to have environmental issues.
Correct.
And the third, not in any order, would be the size, the height of the towers as it relates to flight patterns.
100% Judge.
Right. So if we were going to send them a letter with those are our issues, we wouldn't really be opposing it. It's just the issues that we have then. Is that correct?
And maybe that raises enough concerns for them and the cost or possibly like the time it would take to accomplish the project that then they would seek a route that would bypass us.
And the reason is, I'm going to be real frank with y'all. We ain't put it on the floor and ain't put it on a motion. I'm not against stopping this power line. I think there's going to be enough obstacles in their way that they're going to have to go deal with without, in my opinion, without us jumping in the front of them, trying to stop it today, which we can't. But raising concerns, I guess that would be our job, in my opinion. But I'm not, if the vote is to oppose it completely, I'm gonna vote against that, okay? Sending a letter, to them with concerns, I think that is our job, okay? That's just my opinion. I don't know what the rest of the court's going to do or what the motion's going to be, but we all do have concerns that they're gonna have to go deal with. It just is. Height, environmental, ranchers, you know, we talked about you were here when we talked about the wind farm, when it first got started. You know, they came to ask for incentives and all this other stuff. We didn't give it to them. They still built it, right? There wasn't a whole lot we could do about it. We could scream, holler, and everything that we wanted, and we sent letters and, you know, the previous judges. But at the end of the day, you know, again, that's just my opinion. Commissioner Wardlaw, you have concerns?
I do. My precinct is the only precinct in the county that will not be crossed by this power line. But in the interest of all of Alberta County, I appreciate the opportunity to talk. Alberta County, a lot of folks here don't realize it, but Alberta County is the mecca in Texas of endangered and threatened species. Both plants, insects, birds, and mammals. We've got species that only grow in Alberta County. Plus, we are the mecca of archaeological sites in the state of Texas. And I think it's our responsibility to protect these people. These people and their property. I can't believe that this was sprung on us so close to the deadline. The letter's dated March 5th, but I received it last Monday. And the only reason that this courtroom is not full of people is because of the arrival of that letter when it arrived. If the people knew what this is, I believe we would have a full courtroom and they'd be out the door. It's just what I think. But Laughlin Air Force Base, archaeology, endangered species, ecotourism, it just goes on and on. And I don't see why they wouldn't go down I-10. All we can do is protest it and hope that they go that way. And it will come. The power line is coming through. It's either coming through here or I-10. They're not going to go through the center of the study area. They will follow a highway because of using trucks to get supplies in to build. So they'll either be on Highway 90 or on I-10. It's one of the two.
Anybody?
Yeah. Is it a fact that you can change the line that they want to put down to giving us electricity at some point in time?
You know, I would think that would be an option by what I was being told, but it's like it depends who you talk to. So how do I answer that correctly?
But is it even a possibility? Can you take a transmission line and change it?
And I was told yes. Okay, but, you know, if I tell you certainly, I'd be lying to you because and for one, it's not even going to be in our control. At the end of the day, it's not our power line. Is it a possibility? Yes. Is it going to happen? I would almost say no. I would partly lean on what your husband said, that it's going to be a full-time transmission line. Is it a possibility for distribution? And I get back to it, yes. But it's probably going to be a full-time transmission line. You know, let's just look at the facts.
That's their contract, to put in a transmission line.
A transmission line,
So
yes.
there'd have to be another contract to come back.
Oh, yeah. And is it going to happen? Would it happen in our lifetimes? Probably not. Did that answer you? Yeah.
I'd add one comment in terms of what you're saying. It's, from an electrical standpoint, it's quite easy to get distribution down from any transmission line, because all you got to do is put in a substation.
And that's what he just brought up. Yeah. So is it a possibility? Yes. But if you were to ask me, is it going to happen? I'd hate to tell you yes. I'd almost bet that what Byron said or Mr. Hodge said is probably absolutely correct. It's going to be a distribution line or a transmission line. and then we're pretty well stuck with it. Okay.
We really don't want people just to think that we're down here in this beautiful county that no one's ever had anything to do with. I mean, from the outside world, so to speak, until I guess the wind towers started coming, but nobody paid any attention to us. And now all of a sudden, everybody wants to come down.
Well, and you take, Commissioner Wardlaw brought up a good deal, that if we are the mecca of environmental and everything else, why the hell did we let them put pipelines everywhere? Right? I mean, if this is what you're gonna hang your hat on, then we should have been in opposition of all the pipelines and them digging crap off of everybody's property. Right? If that's the stand we're gonna take. And that's how come I'm saying, and my comment a little while ago was, if the motion's going to be that we send a letter bringing up concerns, let's all sign the letter and get it to them, tomorrow, today. Right? These are the concerns that we've had, and we've listened to our citizens, and we have the concerns as a commissioner's court. But to say that we just absolutely don't want it, they have a lot to deal with. They're gonna have a lot to deal with.
And I'm making comments to your
Yes, sir.
statement there. One thing we learned from the Rock Springs wind farm, they brought that in.
Their values weren't high enough.
Nobody was doing anything about it. And subsequent to that time, we've been fairly successful as a group to at least slow, if not altogether stop, further wind farm activity
And I can tell you with y'all's help, and everybody that was opposed to that, and the state of Texas, what's it called, Granelli, what's that called? Carlos? Granelli. The other wind farm that was supposed to be, we have a letter from them, and it's still part of electricity. Okay. So, make sure I don't get off the topic or whatever. We have a letter from them that they're setting up a board for that piece of property that they bought up there to begin some type of commercial development, not having to do with solar or wind. Right. So, yes, you're absolutely right, that because of everybody working together after the Rock Springs incident, after the 277, 377.
Yeah, really, the end point I'm trying to make here is we all know that with commercial and industrial development, they tend to take the path of least resistance. So
And part of,
we've got, from my standpoint, we need to yell loud, and have it in writing that we're against that transmission line being located in Valverde County.
okay, and that's one thing that I'm gonna repeat what I just said. If we're against it just being completely in Valverde County, I'm gonna vote against that motion, if that's the motion. If we're gonna send them a letter telling them that we're concerned about environmental, Laughlin, ranchers, personnel, then I don't mind voting for that. But if it's just not to, if the motion, and we'll hear it here in a minute, whatever the motion's gonna be, if it's just to completely oppose it, then my vote's gonna be no.
I don't have any problem with your position at all, Judge.
Yeah, okay.
Can't you do both? Can't we be opposed and put all of our concerns?
We can oppose it, we can oppose the transmission line, and we could oppose the transmission line based on the concerns that we have. Will that work? But completely oppose it in Valverde County, I think that would be a far-fetched.
I mean, we've got wind turbines and we've got
Oh,
pipeline
yeah.
and we've got everything.
Well, and we've got, part of the electricity, part of all of this, you also have battery storage facilities.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a battery storage facility that came to us for incentives, abatements and stuff. We opposed it, didn't give it to them, but they're still going in and putting it in, and it's going next to the county jail. So I've got 1,500 prisoners, and people say, well, and I've had that comment, well, they're just prisoners. Yeah, but what the hell am I gonna do with 1,500 prisoners if the battery storage, if one of them goes boom? And then I've got Valverde Park, depending on which way the air is blowing. San Felipe pastures on the other, or San Felipe pastures on the other side, or San Felipe on the other side, depending on which way the wind's blowing. So along with these transmission lines and everything that comes in, then we're gonna have battery storage facilities at some point. We already have, they're trying to come in and do battery storage facilities in, Lake Ridge, which we've opposed, and it's one of those deals that in my opinion, when they go boom, if they go boom, how do I put them out? You know, I was with Fire Chief of Del Rio, this week, and he says, I thought y'all opposed it. We did oppose it. Didn't matter, they still built it. I don't have the authority to stop them. Okay? But if something does go wrong, then we're gonna have to deal with it. And this isn't gonna be my fire department, because my fire department don't have near the technology that Del Rio does. Del Rio's gonna be down there, and they don't have the technology to put them out. So it's just more and more and more coming. And I'm sorry I got off on that, but the stuff we're dealing with right now, it's just ancillary to everything else. You know, and we just went through, I guess I can say it because it's already been filed. We just went through a lawsuit with Wind Farm, and that's finally been settled as to what the values were. Not where we would want them, but we didn't have to write a check for what they'd already paid and have to go back and write a check for, now, so do you take the $400,000 that they owe us, or do you keep fighting it and end up, you know, you know, and we opposed that one in this courtroom twice, and they still came.
Judge, just for clarity on this letter, there's no mention of any battery storage.
No, there isn't. There isn't at all.
Yeah. So that
Keep me out of trouble.
Well, that may be a future issue, but at this moment, it doesn't look like something.
Yeah, but I used the electricity part in order to be able to talk about the battery storage.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Judge, I have another input from the letter.
Yes, sir.
I've studied the map, and it looks like there's 3 possible routes through Valverde County if the power line does come through. They can either stay on Highway 90 and come right across the north side of Del Rio and go out to Highway 90 west at the lake, but I do not know if they have the ability to run these lines across the lake at the Highway 90 bridge where the railroad bridge and the highway is. If they do not have the ability to do that, they would turn off of Highway 90 between here and Brackett, and they would go through the Blue Sage area on the Devils River, which is between the 2 state natural areas. And if they don't cross the Devils River there, it would go north and go up through Dolan Creek, which is where we are, my family, and then they would go on to Juneau and then head west. So those are the 3 routes that I think are possible, because they're going to stay off of the state natural areas. They're going to stay off of the Nature Conservancy easements, which are also on this map. But the problem and the difference between power lines and pipelines is this. When I go feed cattle in the middle of the day, I pull out, I can't find the cattle. I pull out on the pipeline, and it's full of cattle. At 6 p.m., you go back out there again, and it's full of deer. This country was prairie before it was covered in brush. So the natural condition of this land is open and not brush. So the pipeline is actually a more natural environment than the pasture where the brush is. And then pipelines, you can't be over on Mr. Dickinson's ranch and see the pipeline that's on Dolan Creek Road. But by God, you can be on his ranch and look over and see a power line crossing Dolan Creek Road. Only the landowner benefits when the pipeline crosses. He might get paid for the pipeline. He'll get paid for the power line. But Mr. Dickinson didn't get paid for the wind turbines that he sees from his front porch. And I know this for a fact. He lives on the top of the mountain. He sees the wind turbines on 377. That is pollution of the horizon. And that's what this is ecotourism. When this power line comes through, you're going to be able to see it from Kickapoo Cavern State Park, Seminole Canyon State Park, Devils River State Natural Area South, Devils River State Natural Area North, Amistad Recreation Area. Anybody's ranch in the county will be visible of this power line. It is not a pipeline. A pipeline is underground. Pipelines do archaeological studies, and they dodge them. They turn. The pipeline turns to go around the Indian mounds. So it doesn't affect archaeology. They study biology, and they go out and find out where the birds are. And I've watched them skirt around habitats of black-cap vireo and golden cheek warblers. There is a huge difference, black and white, between power lines and pipelines. I've been studying this thing for a week and a half. Well, since last Monday. So, sorry to call this special meeting and inconvenience everybody, but I feel strongly about it, as you can tell. And my life has gone into this. I'm a former state park police officer in Devils River State Natural Area. And I've watched the pipelines come through. And I know this issue through and through. Not as well as Mr. Dickinson on the power side, but I know about the horizon and why people come to Val Verde County for ecotourism. Thank you.
Judge, Mike, and the reason I brought up the pipeline versus this is because you said environmental.
Yes, sir.
We tear up more crap when we do the pipeline than what these are gonna tear up. They're gonna do a little road. And I do realize that the benefit from the pipeline when they get done is that, you know, there's more of a grazing area, that is better suited for our livestock. But they do tear up more land. And that's what I was getting at the end of the day. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Yes, no, it's fine. Judge, my question to you is, can we stop this from coming through Val Verde if they decide to come through Val Verde?
No.
I think if we just scream louder than Sutton County, we don't get it. I don't think that they know that it's happening. I called other counties and nobody knows this is happening.
I think at the end of the day, this will depend on the property owners. It depends on, you know, like the pipeline, how much money they're gonna offer each property owner, go through their property, their ranch. I think they're the one that can stop it, not us. I mean,
I think it would be, and we haven't heard from the one that's most of you.
That's gonna cost most of yours.
Yeah, I've been quiet on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I think that we have brought up, everybody's brought up concerns. And I think those need to be mentioned in a letter. At the very, 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 very least, it needs to be mentioned in a letter. And this is how come, we have concerns for this, transmission line. And what are you going to do to address these concerns? Can you please keep us informed? And we can send them emails that we have, for Laughlin, also within that letter, people that we deal with, whenever we're asked about certain projects, get that email to them and to make sure that they're in contact with us.
Judge, I gave a copy of the letter to a lady who works at Laughlin, and she said she was going to deliver it to the colonel.
Yeah, well, and at the end of the day, there's people below the colonel that we deal with on a daily basis. We've got a tower going up, on the SE Ranch. Boatros fixing to put up a little tower there, and there's been a miscommunication or lack of communications with Laughlin. So we're getting involved with that. I'm sitting here looking at Carlos in case I say something wrong. We're sitting here getting involved with that also, so we can get involved with this to make sure that they're informed and make sure that they're contacting the right people. And what we can do is also, you know, if y'all want to take it a step further than just a letter to them, we can send it to Eddie and send it to our senator and tell them, look, this is the best that we came up with. This is what we're looking at, and this is what we've done.
To add my 2 cents,
I
since
was
you asked.
hoping you would say something.
Okay. According to the letter, it says a study area has been developed to consider possible routes connecting the proposed Howard Road and Solstice stations. And it says proposed routes for the project have not been developed at this time. I think that's what people need to understand, is that we have a study area, we're in the study area, but there are no routes proposed, and we don't know anything. We just know that we're in the possible study area. So I think we're putting the cart before the horse. I didn't interrupt you, sir. Okay, so we have a proposed draft letter that states our opposition, which I don't think is appropriate at this moment. It says that the consultant Power is requesting that your agency/office provide information concerning environmental and land use constraints or other issues of interest to your agency office. That's what they're asking for. I think that's what we need to give them.
If we gave them a letter stating that we have concerns, our concerns are, and they just mentioned it.
Yes, and you tell me that we have a base, we have Amistad recreational area, we have
Environmental.
these environmental issues.
And then Orlando.
Yeah, and please consider these issues when you're doing your proposed routes. I'm good with that, but to actually say that we're opposed to it, then I have a problem with that because they're trying to make the grid more resilient and more redundant. How can we literally be opposed to that? I mean, we all sat here for a week and froze our butts off because of what happened.
But we're not gonna get the power from it.
I know that, but it's making the power grid more resilient and more redundant. I mean, that's the whole reason for what they're doing, is to make the power grid stronger. How can we be opposed to that?
Go ahead.
I believe if we just get a motion from the court and then say that we would like to send the letter and maybe strike opposition language from it and just include all
All our concerns.
And then pending county attorney approval and review, that'll let me make the changes, then we can format it and send it if the court is wanting to go down that route.
And I would like to, when we get done with the letter, whatever that letter is, to send it to our state representatives. They know what we're going through. And part of that email, part of that letter, if you can get Laughlin's contact and we can add it to it, that way they can't come back and say we didn't know. And Carlos, if you'll get us that information, that way we can add it to the letter. And then we'll send that letter also to Laughlin.
But we still need a motion, Judge, so.
No, I'm trying to get all the pieces.
Yeah.
So, Judge, I want to clarify something about the proposed route. There will not be a proposed route. There will not be public hearings. You will not have any input. So each of you can write letters about this in opposition to it if you want, because right here at the top it says clearly, subject to the Public Utility Commission of Texas, decision by May 1st, 2025. That's when the route will not be proposed, but it will be decided and made.
We need to be careful. This is my opinion. You tell me if I'm wrong. We need to be careful about sending letters, any member of the court, and using, we should be careful sending letters as members of the court and not getting our personal lives involved.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, sir. I understand that.
Okay. All right. And I don't know how to, we just need to be careful. I just don't want us to be getting in trouble for something that we did as a court, and we shouldn't have.
Well, and Judge, and I'm sure all the commissioners are aware, but the vote of the court is what gives the commissioners the authority to act. So in your own individual capacity as commissioners, you really don't have any way to bind the county or the commissioners court in a singular act. It has to be a vote.
Again, we just need to be careful. He already answered. Okay. Anybody want to take a stab at this motion? Because we can do several. I can take a stab at it, and then you correct me as I go on. I would put in part of my motion that we send a letter to these individuals here, and also a copy of that letter to be sent to Laughlin and our state representatives, citing all the issues and all the issues that we have with this tower going through Valverde County. Mm-hmm. Well, is that pretty blanket enough to opposing issues that we have? Issues that we have with
Concerns?
Concerns. We can, however y'all want to word it, the motion's still open, so, issues and concerns that we have with, this power line.
So you're waiting for, ready for a motion, Judge? or-
Well, that's my motion.
That's your
Now,
motion.
I'm gonna see if he's fixing to clarify it.
I would just add to the end of the motion, pending county attorney approval and review, so that we can make.
You don't want me to send something?
No, you can, but I just want to make a couple of changes to make
They
sure.
don't like my letters. A lot of times when I type the letters,
One thing, Mr. Clemmer, is the judge has mentioned a lot about the landowners.
Mm-hmm.
And the landowners we didn't put in here very much about. This is about this. You have a lot of stuff in this letter, but it doesn't really talk about the concern that we should have for our landowners.
We can
those are going to be the concerns that we have. We can list everything.
Yeah, we could just reiterate at the end, say, due to all the, foregoing issues that we've raised, many of the landowners in the area have raised these concerns.
Concerns.
Yeah.
I'll second the motion, Judge.
You okay with that? Commissioner Wardlaw, you okay with that?
Sir?
So it's just a list of concerns.
List of concerns.
Okay.
And if we'll need to get this out.
I would leave the door open to whatever concerns come up.
Yeah, and if y'all have more stuff that y'all need to add to it or something, call me. All right.
We just need to get it done,
No.
sent by Monday.
Okay.
So we'll be working on it today.
Okay. That was my motion. I have a second, Commissioner Flores. I'm gonna take a roll call vote, that way I'm not. All those in favor, Commissioner Wardlaw, how do you vote? 4. Commissioner Vasquez,
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia,
In favor.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
and myself, it passes unanimous. Item 7, Commissioners' comments.
Judge, we will all have our name at the bottom of this.
You'll have an opportunity to sign it, yes, sir. It's a court order, so everybody will get to sign.
I've got something to say, Judge.
Okay.
Let's pray for rain. We need some rain real bad.
Yes.
Okay, county judge's comments, I have one thing. Our Justice of the Peace, Tony Foss, has been battling cancer for almost a year. Looks like he's coming home, coming back to Del Rio. But he's probably lost his battle with cancer. So if y'all have an opportunity he will lose his battle with cancer. So if y'all have an opportunity to pray for him and his family, we greatly appreciate it. Item 9, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries 5-0. Thank y'all so much, and thank y'all for coming.